Hey guys, I am obviously out today, so please follow my instructions. The homework is still the 5-3 video that's in Delta Math that is due tomorrow. As far as the Tricky Tuesday bell ringer, please use your notes and answer these two questions in Delta Math. So describe the mistake that I made in each problem. So number 1 and number 2, you can pause the video, look for a mistake, and then enter your two answers into Delta Math. So the 5-2 video that you had to watch yesterday was on solving one-step inequalities using multiplication and division. Remember that key idea you need to remember: when you multiply or divide by a negative number to solve an inequality, you need to flip the sign. So Miss Coffee talked about that yesterday in the video with this slide here. So she showed when you multiply by a positive what happens and a negative. So we'll be keeping that idea in our minds throughout the lesson here today. She did two examples on the left, and you were supposed to try the two on the right. I'll be looking at your responses, but Miss Coffee's mistake was on this lower left-hand corner. She graphed this problem wrong, so it should actually be a closed circle on -7 pointing to the left. So please make sure you fix that in your notes. I believe she pointed her arrow to the right. As far as the two U tries here on the right side, I'm going to talk through these, so make sure you make corrections or check your own answers in your notes. 1/5 m is greater than or equal to a -3. So we should know by the last chapter to get rid of that 1/5, you multiply by the reciprocal, or just 5, or 5/1. So you get m is greater than or equal to a -15. Our sign did not flip because we've multiplied both sides by a +5. So even though our answer became negative, we didn't multiply by a negative number. So we also need to graph this. So -15 goes in the middle, -16's to the left, -14's to the right. It is less than or equal to, so that means we get a filled in circle on -15, and anything higher than that is to the right. The one underneath it is showing -7 multiplied by d is less than or equal to 147. So to undo that, we have to divide both sides by a negative number, -7. So because we divided by a negative, our sign flips to a greater than or equal to, and if we do this math, it's -21. Draw out the number line, -21 in the center, -20 to the right, -22 to the left. It is greater than or equal to, so that is another filled in circle on -21. Values that are bigger than -21 are to the right again. Alright, moving on here, Miss Coffee talked about the Band Booster Club problem. You needed to try the one about the history classes, planning a trip to a local museum, and it's $8 a person. Determine how many people can go if they only have $260. So again, we're going to define our variable on these. We're going to say let P equal how many people, number of people. Our inequality is, since it's $8 a person, that looks like 8p. And our total amount that we have is 260. So remember, we can't spend more than we have, so 8p has to be less than or equal to 260. To solve this, since these two things are being multiplied, you divide both sides by an 8 and get p is less than or equal to 32.5. And then if we write a solution sentence, we can't have half a person go, so we can't cut a person in half and take them to the museum. So what is the the whole number, the first whole number that's smaller than or equal to 32.5, and that would be 32. So if we take 33 people, that's a half a person too many. So we'll say 32 people can say up to 32 people, or 32 people or less can go to the museum, but we can't go over 32. Alright, so that ends all the you tries. Now you need to get the classwork Kahoot link out of Google Classroom. Use your whiteboard to work out some of the problems. Try your best. It does count as a classwork grade. And then after you're done with that, you can get started on tonight's homework, which was the 5-3 lesson video that we'll be talking about tomorrow.